Welcome back to Apple Addiction. Apple is rumored to be readying a new iPad for 2021. The new iPad was rumored to be in attendance at Apple's spring product launch on April 20, but that turned out to be false. At the moment, September or October 2021, alongside the iPhone 13 and Apple Watch 7, seems most likely for an iPad 2021 release date, something rumors have suggested. Apple tends to launch a new iPad every year. The iPad 8th generation launched last September, so you won't be shocked to hear that analysts predict the 9th generation iPad to appear in September 2021. So in this video, we are going to discuss iPad 9th generation, latest leaks. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Design. The main iPad line has not fundamentally changed its appearance ever since the original debuted over 10 years ago. A rumor that Apple is adjusting the new model's design based on the old iPad Air generation seems to be gaining steam. The Twitter leaker, named 000 Leaker, mentioned that Ming-Chi Kuo expects a new low-priced iPad in the second half of 2021, with one of the prototypes being the same design as the iPad Air 3. Apple tends to reuse their higher-end iPad designs for their lower-end iPads. For example, the 2017 iPad Pro came with a 10.5-inch display size for the base model. And then, in 2018, the iPad Pro was upgraded to the new modern flat-edge design with rounded corners on the display. And then, in 2019, the iPad Air 3 adopted basically the same identical 10.5-inch design that the iPad Pro used to have. And then finally, in late 2020, the iPad Air 4 ended up adopting the 2018 iPad Pro design with a modern flat edge and new display. So because of that, it would totally make sense for the iPad 9 to adopt that old 10.5 inches display design as well, since it's going to be very easy for Apple to manufacture. However, there are some other leaks that just came out that point to Apple keeping the same 10.2-inch display again for the third year in a row, which would be a bit weird. Now, some people are hoping for the budget iPad to also get a full redesign to match up with the modern iPads, complete with flat edges, no home button, and a rounded corner display. But the iPad is always behind in terms of the feature set, obviously because of the very cheap $329 based price. For example, the current budget iPad still doesn't have a laminated display. It still doesn't support DCI-P3 white color gamut. It still only has a 1.2 megapixel selfie camera. It still only has Bluetooth 4.0. And it still only comes with 32 gigs of storage at the base price. So we expect the iPad 9 to be the very last iPad to adapt the full modern screen design, probably at least a full year after the iPad mini gets the new design, which is rumored to be happening this fall. We just want a new entry-level iPad that feels modern in the hand and is easily discernible from its myriad predecessors. Release date. Just by looking at Apple's iPad release timeline, you can see that for the last 4 years, Apple's released a new budget iPad every year without missing a single year. And they're expected to continue this trend this time again. Apple's budget iPads usually get released in either March or September alongside the iPhone. And since we're already into the summer without a new iPad 9, it's going to have to be released in September no matter what. In fact, the last 2 budget iPad models were revealed at Apple's iPhone event. And in terms of the day of the event itself, it almost always happens on a Tuesday, and usually the second Tuesday of the month, like they did the last couple of years. So that points to September 14th for this year's event. And that's when we're expecting the iPad 9 reveal. Chip and display. The most important thing to understand is that the budget iPad 9 usually gets updated on a tick-tock cycle. In 2017, Apple released the iPad 5 with a 9.7-inch display and the Apple A9 chip. And then the following year, they released the iPad 6 with the same exact 9.7-inch display, but they upgraded the chip to the A10. The year after that, in 2018, they updated the design and gave it a 10.2-inch display size, but they kept the chip the same, A10, as it was before. Now that was definitely a bit of a disappointing upgrade, because the new iPhone 11 was released alongside the iPad, but it came with an A13 chip, 3 generations newer, but Apple still went with the A10 for the budget iPad. And just last year, they gave us the iPad 8 with the same 10.2-inch display design, but they bumped up the chip to the A12, which means that they skipped the A11. So as you can see, the tick-tock cycle works by upgrading the design and display one year, and then upgrading the chip the next year. So if Apple were to continue this cycle this year, we should actually expect Apple to update the design, but keep the same A12 chip as it currently has. which would definitely be disappointing like it was in 2019. But it shouldn't really be that surprising if it ends up happening. CN Beta reported that the new iPad would be coming in the spring of 2021, which was obviously wrong. But they mentioned that it would be getting a 10.5-inch display and an A13 chip with 4 gigs of RAM. So basically what they're saying is that Apple is going to break the TikTok cycle by updating both the display and the chip at the same time, which I think might be a possibility. But in reality, the A12 chip is already very fast for what you're paying for. The current budget iPad with the A12 was the very first budget iPad that was actually quite good at gaming, playing all of the best iOS games out there with ease. So Apple could easily keep the A12 again. And for this upcoming new iPad 9, we are expecting it to get a fully laminated display and support for DCI-P3 white color gamut, which is actually going to be a huge deal, and it's going to make this iPad a much better value. Specs. On top of that, we are expecting some of the other specs to get bumped up as well, like Bluetooth 5.0 and a 7-megapixel selfie camera. Rumors that Apple will equip the iPad 9 with a faster chip are gathering steam, although it's hardly surprising. The current iPad shares an A12 processor with the 2018 iPhone XS, so an upgrade is long overdue. So even if Apple keeps the same A12 chip, it'll still be a decent upgrade in terms of the larger, thinner design and display quality. And in that case, the following iPad update next year could skip the A13 and go straight for the A14 chip, without a design change as they did in 2019. And then 2 years from now, they could finally give the budget iPad the full modern redesign with uniform bezels, but keep the same A14 chip. Now, that might seem like a ridiculously long time to wait for the full modern redesign, but it would perfectly match up to Apple's TikTok cycle. We got a couple of reports recently that 10.2 the iPad 9 actually not getting an upgraded 10.5-inch display. Mark Gurman, the most reliable leaker out there, said last month that the iPad 9 would be a thinner version of the current base iPad, which will continue to be targeted to students. Mac Otakara released a report saying that the iPad 9 does not seem to be any different than the existing model. So what if the iPad 9 actually sticks to the same 10.2-inch display, but becomes thinner than the current one? Well, that could actually make a lot of sense, because the current iPad's non-laminated display actually increased the thickness by quite a lot. So simply swapping it out for a new laminated 10.2-inch display would make it quite a lot thinner, and would match up to Mark Gurman's report. And if this does happen, that would also break the TikTok cycle of not giving it a new design. And that would mean that we should expect this iPad 9 to actually get the A13 chip like others have been reporting. Last but not least, there is talk of Apple switching out the Lightning port for a USB-C connector, as seen on the iPad Pro and newest iPad Air. This would enable faster charging and quicker data transfer. But then, there are rumors that Apple will continue to reserve USB-C for its flagship models. What is your opinion about the 9th generation iPad? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.